Okay, sorry you guys. I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook. I saw Beverly having some trouble with Facebook, and so now it's happening to me. I get going for just a couple minutes and it shuts me out. So I am just going to go on and do a video, and I'll just post this video so you guys can see it after. So I don't know what's going on. Facebook's doing all kinds of weird stuff. They want money. Basically, is what it is with them. They want everybody to have a business page so you can pay for advertising. And well, for little people like me that I really don't make any money, that's not worth it for me. So if they'd allow me to get on and build, then I could get to that point, but I'm not there yet. Okay, so I just want to, okay, anyway, I'm gonna do this. I will post this on both places so everybody can see it. All right, so once again, I am starting with a half a sheet. It's 5.5 by 8.5. This is a card that I'm making. It's an easel card, but it is almost like a double Z fold, but this way. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do this. I'm using the flowers, the sprigs here, and I'm using a couple of pieces from, this is the Forever Fern stamp. This comes in a bundle. There's also a suite to this. This is one that's been in the catalog since 2018. It's a real fun one that makes a really nice waterfront. But I'm using the verbiage out of this one, okay, the sentiment. All right, so what I did, I've already kind of done, I did this, I got kicked off Facebook like 3 times, so I'm not going for a 4th. All right, so basically, we're going to put our paper this way, and we're going to be cutting. I want to have 1 1/4, so you'll put your cutter at 1 1/4, and you're going to go all the way down and cut it to 7 1/4. Okay, so I want this cut here, and then I want to turn my paper around and do the exact same thing. So put it at 1 1/4. Do the same thing from 7 1/4 up to 1 1/4. Now, I've already done that. Then we're going to turn our page this way. I'm sorry, I have one of this. I started doing this on Facebook Live in case you guys didn't see that. I got shut out of there twice. So we're going to put this and line this up to 1 1/4, and we're going to score. So you just want to score from the 5.5 up to 4 1/4, and then from here down to 1 1/4. So you basically only want to score on the 2 sides. Then I want to do 2 more. I'm going to go 1 1/4 up the same way. Sorry, let me put my coffee. So 1 1/4 plus 1 1/4 is 2.5. So we're going to put it at 2.5. Oops, I just moved it with my finger. We're going to put it at 2.5 and do the same thing. Go down to 1 1/4, and then from here you're going to go from your cut lines. So from your cut line down. Okay, so now you should have 2. Then I want to go to the half page mark, which would be 4 1/4. Now I'm only going to do the inside from cut to cut. Okay, that's all you want, from cut to cut. So I'm just going to do just in the middle. And if it doesn't go exactly all the way across, it's okay. It just shows me where I'm going to fold my paper. Then from here, we're going to go down another 1 1/4. So from 4 1/4, you're going to go 5 1/4 to 5.5. Okay? So you're basically going another 1 1/4. So if you looked, this line now is on 1 1/4. So you should be at your 5.5 mark right here. And those, you're just going to do the outsides again. So just do the outside on both sides. Okay, so now this is what it should look like, if you can see. So we've got our 2 cut lines, and then we've got scored on each side and scored on each side. Oops, I actually went a little bit far on that one. I didn't realize it. That's okay. And then one right here at 4 1/4, and then this one 5.5. Okay. All right, so now we're going to cut out the paper that we need. And I'm using Blackberry Bliss. And I want, if you look at the space here, if you measure that, it is 3 inches. Okay, this right here is 3 inches, this space right here. So I'm going to take and cut out, I want to go 2 7/8, because I'm just going to go down 1/8, because I want it to be a little bit smaller in that area. So 2 7/8, and then again 2 7/8. Okay, so there's this one. And then we've got this here. If I open this and show you what it looks like, this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so oops, it's on inside. Okay, so now let me pick this up. So this one here, if you measure from here to here, it's the same thing. It's 3 inches. So I also am going to need some strips that are going to be just below. So since I have this already cut, all I need to do is cut 2 more of these. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 1/4, because 1 1/8, because I'm only going down 1/4. 1/8. Gee whiz, I'm so baffled by what Facebook did to me. I'm not thinking right. Okay, so 1 1/8. We need 2 of those. Okay, and then for the very bottom, I need a piece that's going to go all the way across here. So since this is 5 1/2, I'm going to go down to 5 3/4. So I'm just going to get a piece and cut it at 1 1/8, and then it's going to go on the card this way to 5 3/8. Okay, so now I've got all these pieces ready. I'll put these aside. And now we're going to cut our DSP, which is our Designer Series paper. I think I put it away. Okay, so Designer Series paper, I'm going to cut that. You can see where I cut it out for my sample card. I'll just do the other one. So we're going down to 2 3/4, because I'm going down 1/8 of an inch from my colored paper. Okay, so I'm going to go down, make sure I have it straight. Okay, so I'm going to go down, and I need it to be 2 1/8. So what I'm going to do is just cut this whole thing down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so instead of, it's going to be 2 3/4, because we want this to fit right on top of our colored piece. If I can get this to show you. So you say just cut it down by 1/8 of an inch, so it just gives a little bit of a border. Okay, that's all I'm looking for. Now I need to cut the other ones that match this. So now I need 1 inch, and one of these is going to go all the way across, so this will be 5 1/4, because my colored piece was 5 3/8. I'm going down 1/8 of an inch. So this is how you do your layering. You just always go down. You can go down as much as you want, but for this one, just to have a little bit of a, I'm doing just 1/8 of an inch smaller. Then I have 2 of the smaller ones, so I need to cut another one at 1 inch. There we go. Okay, at 1 inch, and then this will be at 2 3/4. I need 2 of those. 2 3/4. Okay, there we go. 2 3/4. Okay, and then this other stuff here is scraps you can save for later for something, or you can toss them. Now this is scrap enough that I save this. I just put it with the rest of this color, and if I need a little scraps, I go and look in that file. Okay, so now I have all my pieces cut. We're going to start stamping now. Okay, so what we're doing is we're going to stamp right here. This is what I have on the front of the card. Every little kindness makes the world brighter. And on the inside, it says, and the hard times easier. And I thought this is a perfect card for this pandemic and what everybody's going through right now. I know I've been stressed out because I'm not able to work, so makes it really tough. Okay, so now I'm going to do some stamping. I'm just going to get a little piece of scrap. And since I kind of messed this one up, I'll use this as a scrap. And I'm going to cut it out with my layering circles, stitch layering circles. So I love to have that little stitch, if you guys can see that, the little stitching. It just adds a little bit to it. So I'm going to stamp this right where I can cut it out. And you guys are going to be proud that I'm not using my Stamparatus for this one. So this will be fine. Okay, so these are the 2 sentiments that I'm using out of the waterfront stamp set. So I'll just get a couple of stamps, blocks. Okay, so this one is, this is our polymer stamp. So with these polymers, you can see through them, as you can see. So I can kind of see once I put ink on it if I'm straight. I'm going to be cutting out a circle, so it doesn't matter if I'm straight. That's going to be okay. I just have to make sure that I'm getting it away from the side so that it's going to fit. So if I wanted to, I could actually stamp it right inside here. Okay, for this one I am using Blackberry Bliss to go with the colored paper. This is a very deep, rich purple. It's really nice. Okay, so I'm just inking my stamp up, and I'm going to ink right here. Just press in the middle. And there we go. And then for the inside of my card, I'm doing all this before I start folding, so that way it's easier to work with this. So this is going to be the front of the card, so I'm going to flip it over, and this is going to be the inside. Okay, so on the inside, I'm going to take and stamp this little saying here, and the hard times easier. Yes, okay, so I'm stamping that right here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little sprig on the inside. Let me just get my... Now, I did some, I cut out these little sprigs. You could actually stamp these if you wanted to, but I wanted to stamp. I like to have a little bit of dimension on my cards, so... Okay, so I'm just getting the ink off of this so I can put it away. I've learned to put my stamps away, because see how little that is? And these are kind of sticky, so I could set something on there and I'd be like, where's my stamp? I never find it. It got stuck to something. So I learned to put my stamps away because I have lost some stamps and I never recovered them. So, all right, and I also did this one. So I will clean this one off. These are just like little chamois cloths. We sell one. It's a little bit thicker than this one, but I already had these. So, oops, I just noticed this little piece here. Okay, I'm doing this where I'm looking in my screen, making sure I'm in focus. Okay, so I'm going to put this one back. I'm still a little bit shaky. Drives me crazy. Okay, so now that all my stamps are put back, now I'm going to do these 2 little sprigs on the inside of my card, and I'm going to do that with matching color. I'm going to be using the Blushing Bride. Sorry, I'm switching things around. I was on a Zoom with some of my ladies, my friends. We just kind of sit there and do stuff, make cards, do whatever we're doing, and talk to each other since we can't get together in person. I really miss doing my live classes at my house. When this is all over, I'm going to have class galore because I miss everybody. Okay, so there's 2 of these, and when I did my original card I just did one, but I'm going to use both because if I use both of them I can have them kind of going in different angles. So I'm going to put this one here. Let me just make sure I don't go off the block, and I can put the other one, oh, I need a bigger block for that. I did them separately, but I want to do it where I can actually see, like maybe this one. Okay, so you can see through the block, right? So you can go and say, I want this one to be right here. Oops, I keep putting it backwards. I'm looking at it. All right, let's try that again. Okay, this one to be here. And this one, is it gonna go off my page? It just might, huh? Well, let's see. We will find out. And with that one, I'm gonna use our Blushing Bride ink. It matches the front of the card, the DSP paper. So let me just make sure I have this all down. See if I can get it to stick within. I'm still shaky since I've been sick and it drives me crazy. Oh, just perfect. All right. So these are the same kind of a leaf, but they're just backwards, so you can make an arch. I like that. Okay, so let me put these back. And then we're going to start cutting out. So I'll bring my big shot. So effective September, you guys can now order, if you don't have one already. We had the Stamparatus, and they took that off the market and they got a new one, Emboss and Stamp Cutter. It does the embossing like this in the stone. So it's basically just like this, except the really nice thing, and you ladies that have come to my house and brought your big shots, you're going to appreciate it. The sides fold up. It's like a little suitcase. So it's really cool for traveling. I never travel with my stuff, so I can still use my, it does the same thing. It's just like this, the big shot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out this right here with my circle. All right. It's so hot. My dogs love to lay in the sun. Okay, so I'm putting that there. And oops, I didn't take my acrylic off. Jeez, I'm just fumbly today. All right, so now I need to put my, I always do this and make a sandwich between two acrylics. Okay, and then what we have, voila, we have our circle with the stitching. Isn't that cool? All right, now that we've got that, now we're going to cut out all of our sprigs. And the sprigs that we're going to cut out are going to be on different color paper. So all of that is on the Blushing Bride, same color as the ink I was using. Okay, grab a piece. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a scrap. This is why I save a lot of scraps, because they come in handy when you're doing stuff like this. So now I'm going to go to the dies. These are the dies from the Forever Fern Suite. These are called Forever Flourishing dies. So the ones that I'm going to use is this right here. I'm going to cut 2 of these out. I have them on magnets. I just buy these little magnet pieces and it works out really nice. So I need 2 of these. So I'm just going to cut one out. This one only has 1. So I'm just going to cut it out. And then I'll cut out another one. Sorry. When I have my tabletop touching the stand for my phone, it makes it seem like there's an earthquake. All right, so I just moved it back. So I need another one because we need 2. Make that sandwich. Put it right through. This big shot right here is what made me sign up as a demonstrator. I went to somebody's house. She's my upline now. And I saw people doing this. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is that? They're like, it's a Stampin' it's a big shot. It cuts out stuff. I was like, what? I've been fussy cutting. Imagine trying to cut this out, something like this, with scissors. That's what I was doing for all these years, for like 25 years that I was doing this until I discovered this machine. She said, if you have a party, you can get it. You know, if you have X amount of dollars, you get a half price item. I'm like, well, what if I sign up? She said, well, if you sign up, it's $99 and you get $125 worth of stuff. Whoop! I signed up. Got this and a couple of embossing folders that go in here. I was in my glory. Oh, okay. So now I need to also let's get back to the scraps. I was saying I keep these scraps for a reason. So now I'm going to do the four little sprigs that I have right here on the inside. And what's cool about this one is this particular set has 4 of these sprigs. So I'm going to be able to do them all with one swoop. 2, 3, and here's 4. So they finally got smart and they said, oh, instead of having to do this one at a time and cut out a whole bunch, especially something this small, they just put extra ones in there, so it works out perfect. Okay, so I'm just gonna, my magnets, when there's small pieces like this, the magnets kind of make the things jump around, because this particular base has magnets in different like little magnets, so it pulls things. So when they're really small, it works out that I'm fitting those all on that one piece of paper. Now, from what I heard, is the new platform with the magnetic platform is one solid magnet, so it should not do that sliding around. So we used to laugh and go, okay, is there a little ghost in the house? He keeps moving my stuff. So look at, you just pop these right out. Isn't that cool? I just love this. Okay, so I have all 4 of them, and I will put these back because I don't want to lose these either. It's very easy when you're doing a bunch of stuff and then you're throwing your scraps in the garbage. I have lost pieces, and then I did not throw any garbage out until I found it. And sure enough, found it inside the garbage by accident. Let's see, put this one here and this one here. Sorry guys, I keep saying I'm going to cut these dang nails down. It's been too hot outside. I usually do it outside and it's too hot. I don't want to go out there. All right, so and they all of our dies come in these nice little plastic holders, and then they close, and they're very easy to store and very easy to see. So you can just flip them through and go, ooh, I want to use that one. Okay, what I do is I put I stuck this in the wrong way. It's not quite fitting that way. What I do is I write on the little paper what it matches, because sometimes I forget the name. They're usually pretty close, but every once in a while you get dies that will not be anywhere near the name of the stamp set it goes through. So I put down, it's the Forever Fern Bundle, and there's also a suite. And I put down when I actually got that. This goes with this. So because they both say fern, it's a no-brainer that they match each other. Okay, so now I'm Chatty Cathy, so excuse me if you don't know me. Get to know me, because I'm a talker. I guess that's why I've always been in sales, because I like to talk. All right. So now that I have this all together, I'm going to start working on putting the card together. Okay, I'm going to bring all this stuff over. Okay. Now what I'm going to do on this, because if you notice on here, this has different shading. And it's really funny because when you look at this, you first think that, is it a bump? And the more you keep looking at it, it looks like there's no bump, that it goes down. It's one of those effects like they put on Facebook. So is that bump raised or does it go down? Well, it looks like it's raised. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, there we go. It's no longer raised. Now it looks like this part is raised and the inside is, I guess it's tricking your mind. Okay, so for this, I'm going to take a little dauber and I'm going to get some of my ink, and I'm just going to lightly put a little bit of coloring on it towards the edges. That helps with dimension, because I'm not going to use dimensionals to pop anything up, because there's so many layers, and with it being folded, I don't want it to be too thick, because if I want to put this in the mail, I want to be able to not worry about how fat it is. Okay, so I have these little daubers, and I kind of keep them and use the same colors so that I can use them over and over again. So it's just a little dauber you stick on your finger. So I'm just going to kind of go around and put a little bit of color. It doesn't have to be anything specific, just a little bit. So you're still seeing the blushing bride color coming through. So you're just kind of getting, now when you cut this out, it has these little embossed areas that are on the actual, so you can see when I do the dauber, it kind of grabs some of that area. And you don't need to press down on your ink real hard, especially these dark ones. You just need to kind of lightly do it. So all it's going to do is it's going to make it stand up and stand out on top of the card. Okay, here's one. And then I'll do the other one. Very simple. And these little daubers work out great because they just sit right on your finger. Okay, so let's put this one this way. Zena, you're not hot laying in the sun? These dogs crack me up. They'll go outside and lay on the hot sidewalk. I have to make them come in because I'm afraid they're going to overheat. That happens really easy. All right, they want to get some of that sun. Okay, so I just have a little bit of coloring on here. Doesn't have to be too much. Okay, so now I have those done. I can put this away. Now we're ready to start the assembly. So when I do a card class, if anybody wants to have a party, what that means is that you invite some friends and I do a live, hopefully, if lives come back to acting right, or I can even do a Zoom, and I cut everything out and I send it to you, to your people, and then they watch and put it together with me. I'm just going to give you an example. This is one that I'm doing right now. Debbie Warden is having a party and she's invited all her friends, and they're on her Facebook, so she invites them to the event, and then we go on the event and I put the card together. So basically what I do is I cut everything out and I pre-stamp, so that all you have to do is take all the pieces and watch me and put it together with me. All you need is ink. I send you even, like if you notice this has our dimensionals that make it pop up off the page. I send those to you also. So if you want to have a party and get some free stuff, let me know. I'm working on Debbie's party right now, so I'll get all her stuff in the mail. If not tonight, tomorrow, I'll get it off by tomorrow because her party's next Saturday on the 22nd. Okay, so now we're going to put this together. I'm going to show you how to do your fold. Let me just move this up a little bit. Okay, so this is how we had it. So, oh, I did this upside down. Did I? Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry. All right, so we're going to bend it back right here, just the sides, and then bend the next one up. Okay. And then the middle one, we're going to bend it down. Okay. And then this one goes like this. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. I'm so frazzled today with how everything went down. I kind of cut a little bit too deep, but it's okay. It's still going to work. Okay. I had you cutting all the way up and it didn't need to go that far. Okay. What I probably should do, I'm just burnishing these edges so that they stay down nice and flat. Okay, so we're going to start putting things together. So we're just going to glue, if I can pick this up. All right, so we're going to glue this on top of here. Now our DSP is two-sided. This one has, this pack actually has, it's got like wood grain. Oh, look what I'm doing. I am not paying attention, you guys. Hold on, let me wipe this off. I am just not paying attention when I talk. I'm telling you, I talk too much. I'm just going to wipe it off really quick. There we go. I just wiped it off with a little piece of a wipe. Okay, let me turn it over. So we just want to glue the back. Now, our Tombow glue here is really, really sticky. So where I made that mistake on the other side, it's still sticking to my finger, even though I wiped it off. It's pretty sticky, but that's okay because it's going to have something over the top of it. All right, so now I'm just going to put this down, and I like to use the glue because if I don't get it down exactly right, I've got a few seconds that I can actually slide it and move it. But after a few seconds, it's down. It's down for good. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and do this. Make sure I turn it over before I start putting glue. You know, you guys, if you haven't come to my classes, you'll see that I make goofy mistakes. I always say I can't talk and chew gum. And I definitely can't talk and do anything that I need to be doing. That's how I make mistakes. All right. I usually do all my stuff really late at night because then I don't have interruptions with grandkids, telephone, you know, Facebook, everything going off at one time. Okay, so now we're going to go and do the side pieces. Okay, for some reason my stuff's not sliding on here very easy. All right, turn those over. Zena, what do you see? You act like you hear something back there. We have dogs that live behind us. One of them's a big pit bull. She's a pretty good sized pit bull. When she comes out to go to the bathroom, my dogs go berserk. I mean, really go berserk. Xena, my little bully, and that's a perfect type of dog for her because she is a bully. She will literally bite chunks out of the fence. So I have to keep them from going against the fence. She doesn't go outside by herself anymore. She used to go outside and then she got scared. She's a big scaredy cat. That makes her kind of dangerous. Dogs bite out of fear. So she's scared of everything. She's gotten better, but she's still, everything spooks her. And if she feels that something is a threat, she's gonna go after it or bite. I keep saying a boy, a young man, he's 28 years old that lives here, and he's got a female pit bull mix. She's really cute. Her name is Daisy. She's only about 18 months old, so she's got that puppy, you know, that puppy hyperness. They accidentally got up to meet each other face to face, and boy, was that scary. They were fighting. They were going at it in my house, and I'm trying to get in between them and break them up, and it's not happening. They're both just trying to kill each other. It's crazy. So she's not dog friendly, and neither is Daisy, especially females. I have 3 female dogs. Females bicker because, you know, females are the head of the pack when it comes to dogs. I don't know if you guys know that. The males are only good enough to make babies and go hunt for food. In the dog world, it's crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to do this one. I'm getting off track here talking about my dog, or dogs in general. I've never had no dogs in my whole life, and when these babies are gone, I think I'm going to be dog free for the first time in my life for a while. I'm sure I'll miss it. Okay, so I'm putting this one up. Now where I accidentally put that on this side, it's going to stay tacky. What I'm going to do just to get rid of that, this is called an embossing buddy. It has some kind of a powder resin in here, and this is to make sure there's no oils on your page when you do stamping, embossing, wet embossing. Well, if you ever have accidentally put some ink on your page, even though I wiped it off, it's a little bit sticky. Now that I've put this on here, it's going to take that stickiness away. It's just like putting some powder. Okay. Now I'll put these pieces